So are you in the market for a wildlife photography lens? Well, let's see if the Sigma 150-600 is the right choice for you. And honestly, price, it's not that bad either.
So of course we're going to go over some field tests with photography and also video. But first let's look at some of the technical specs. Zooming in and out feels very smooth. There's actually a switch here that will either lock the lens in place, make it very tense so it is a little bit more rough to zoom in and out, or a loose setting so it's very easy to zoom in and out at that point. When I'm birding and I'm looking up at trees, I have to keep it on the tense setting so it doesn't retract itself in automatically, because I found when I had it on the loose setting, it would zoom back in towards me without me intending to. Looking at other switches, there's an autofocus, manual focus switch, which I always like. I find it being on the lens does feel a lot better than having to go into the camera to do it. And speaking about focus, the focus ring is nice and smooth. I don't really find a tough time finding focus when doing wildlife photography. This lens has a variable aperture of f5 to 6.3. There's a couple other switches here. There's an optical steady shot switch, which has 3 settings, either off. One of them is going to be stabilization for panning, and one of them is going to be overall stabilization. The lens supports a filter size of 95 millimeters, and it comes with a nice tripod mount that, as you can see right here, rotates between landscape and portrait, so you don't have to screw with your tripod too much.
So this ultra zoom lens weighs in at 2,100 grams. In comparison to some other lenses out there, the 60-600 from Sigma, it's 2,700 grams, so this is considerably lighter. But that being said, it's still heavy. The build quality on this lens, it feels durable, like all Sigma products if you used them before. And according to their website, it has some aspect of weather sealing and water resistance on this lens. Now, I know in the beginning of the video, I kind of spoiled the price a little bit. One of the best qualities about this lens is it doesn't break the bank for a 150-600. You can find these new for $1,300, and you can find them used for around $1,100 from what I can see. And for comparison to that, the G Master equivalent, it's gonna run you around $1,900. So you're saving around 600 bucks if you're buying new. We're gonna go ahead and jump into a lens review next, but just something that I've noticed on the ground here, there's fishing line. And this is terrible for birds and wildlife. So if you're doing wildlife or birding photography, make sure you pick this up along the way. Carry a little bag with you, stuff it in there, and help out the wildlife that you're trying to capture as well.
All right, so over the past week or so, I've been testing this lens out, and so far have been loving it. I do want to preface this with, this is my first time doing any sort of wildlife photography with a zoom lens like this. So hopefully this helps you give that unique perspective on whether or not this might be something for you and how difficult or not difficult it might be. One thing I noticed after reviewing these photos is how nice and creamy the bokeh is. I feel like specifically the bokeh helps make the subject, the animal in this case, pop that much more. One con that I found was the autofocus is not as fast as I would have liked it to be. I'm also currently testing the 60-600 Sigma lens, and that autofocus is considerably faster from what it feels like. A review for that lens will be coming out next week. But with that being said, it's considerably more expensive, and if you're decent at manual focus, that might just be a better option. And ending off here, let's go ahead and do a quick video test. Here's a video shot of a great blue heron building a nest. As you can see, it's flying away with some sticks. I got a slow motion video of it. I really liked this moment, and it was probably one of my favorite wildlife photography experiences I've had so far.
So overall, I really like this lens. I think it's a great option for you beginners out there and also experienced photographers. It's not a beginner lens per se, but it is a better, easier price entry point for wildlife photography, because that honestly can get quite expensive. $1,300 new, $1,100 used doesn't really break the bank, hopefully. Other equivalents out there are quite a bit more expensive, so just keep that in mind. One thing that I always love about wildlife photography, if you haven't tried it already, is just it slows down everything. You are required to just kind of sit back, chill, relax, and wait for the wildlife to come to you. And that's usually what results in the best wildlife or birding photography results. Also, if you don't mind, like I said in the beginning of the video, see any trash or fishing line or anything like that, bring a little bag, pick it up on your hikes and your adventures. It'd be very greatly appreciated to all the animals around you. They are giving you a good picture. Clean up. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.